Hey everybody, welcome back, and another great day, because today is the day that you're going to learn how to play Flesh for Fantasy by Billy Idol with the great guitar work of Steve Stevens. I'm going to focus on that great clean tone guitar, that chorusy, great 80s, I don't know what sound guitar that he has on this, but beautiful parts being played, and so we're going to spend some time with that. Hey, if you haven't already, really appreciate it if you jump down, click subscribe if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell, lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have jump links down in the description and on the horizontal bar, so if you want to jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass some of my yapping, go ahead. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel, I really appreciate that. There's a couple ways. You can look down there and you see Super Thanks, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or you can join my Patreon page, and that has guitar tabs and chord charts for all the stuff I do in YouTube and some other exclusive content there. There's even a shop. Check the link in the description. You can get some great gear acquisition syndrome merchandise in there if you're interested. But anyway, okay, so let's jump to it. Flesh for Fantasy, super great guitar arrangement in there. And I had just happened to buy an Acoustic Simulator pedal by Boss, and I'll give a link to that down below. I was messing around with that, and I plugged it in and ran it through my rig, had some chorus on it, and it sounded like this. And I was like, holy cow, that sounds a lot like Flesh for Fantasy. Let's figure that out. And I had never attempted this song before, ever. But it's one of those where you're just sort of messing around and you find that chord. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Let me figure that out. Getting your tone, I have no idea, but I'll tell you how I'm getting what I'm getting, which I think is somewhat close. You need a guitar of any kind, I think, but you need a sort of whammy bar. There's some parts in there for a whammy bar. I've got a Strat that has a mod on it where you can sort of pull out the volume and you get it just turns this bridge pickup on. No matter where you are on the guitar, you know, you have your switches up here, it'll always turn that on. So I'm on basically the 4th position switch here, which has normally just these two. But when I pull that out, it switches that one on too. So I guess all the pickups are on. I think somebody told me that's the David Gilmour mod. No idea. But that's the one that sounds the most close to my ear, I guess. Not that you need to do all of that, but just telling you what I've got here. So running through my Acoustic Simulator, little bit of EQ. I've got my Boss Chorus Dimension C and my delay and some reverb. I'll put all the settings in the description of where those are. But that's going to give me a tone that sounds like this. Which I'm going to call it close enough. The song opens with bass and drum, but there's this great little harmonic. There's a harmonic set of notes, which is sort of the 4th string down at the 7th fret. And you sort of whammy bar that down a little bit. Your first chord. So your first chord is a B minor 7 with an open E on the bottom. Isn't that cool? And so you play that, and you're just going to rake back strings one at a time from 1 back to 4. Right? So then you're going to slide up and you're going to sort of play around. You know, you have your B minor 7 down here. So you know the song's sort of in that B minor key. So your other B minor is up here, right? 7th and 9th fret. So you're going to slide up on the 5th string there to 9. Right? So that's just playing around between the 7th and 9th fret on the 5th and the 4th strings. And that last one you're going to drag all the way down. Right? So that's how you get that. You don't want to play it down here. It's too tiny sounding, and you need to get that so you know he's playing it up here. And it's not a muted. That's too weak. You want to play that note, but play it a little staccato. So you're going to control the length of the note with your left hand, right? Maybe muting with your finger on the string down here too, but it's not a palm mute. It's not that. It's little thing, but there you go. Now you're gonna have some whammy bar here, and it's gonna go 5th fret, 2nd fret, 7th fret, 5th, 7th. Here's what I mean. So you're sort of starting with before you pick the note, you want to have your whammy bar dipped a little bit. So you're sort of scooping up into it. So on the 5th fret, is how that sort of sounds. Down the 2nd. Something like that. There you go. Then you go back again. Now here's these great chord stabs. So these next chords, I think it's doubled with a synthesizer and the guitar, but the chord is shaped like a D major 7 up here. You're just sort of starting on the D string at 12, then you're just moving up back a fret and a string for the last 4. So 12 on 4, 11 on 3, 10 on 2, 9 on 1. Okay? And the second chord is just straight across on 9 for these are both on the last 4 strings. All right? If you can get it. All right? If you're struggling with it in the beginning, just play 3 strings. And when you feel comfortable with that, start attempting the 4th. Right? And then you're back. Again. And then you're going to do this cool B minor pentatonic climb to get out of it, okay? So that climb goes like this. Got it? Let's move on. Okay, no, I'll slow it down. So it goes. One more time. And where that fits in context, where it starts, it's. That's how that goes. All right. So the next part is what's the next part? Face to face. Right. Oh, this is cool. So this, whatever this guitar is, this tone guitar, there's a couple that are going on, right? There's that overdrive guitar that's also happening, but this guitar is going to be playing very staccato. I don't know if it's a triplet, but it's. So those notes, it's part of a B minor. You're muting it here, but then you slide up 2 frets. And you play a D triad. Then it's an E suspended 4, I guess. Like think of an E triad, but you're just doing the sus4. Or, yeah. Right? Or E sus. So you can play that last one, because after you do that, you have to jump back down and start over again here. So you could play it up here, or you can play it down here, which might put you in better position for the first chord again. I'm not used to that one. Doesn't really sound like it's that to me, but it sounds more. So pick whichever way you want to do it. That's another one you can do. Got to get used to it, but E sus. So it goes through that twice, and then it goes to your chorus, which is G, big G chord, and it's a sort of a call and response. So here's the big G chord, and then you're going to sort of go between, this is on the E and B string, between 14 and 12, right? And then I think it's an A, whatever that version of A is, without your major third. You just pick it up. And then the answer is a little different. Right, so the first one is, the second one, and now you're at Flash for Fantasy, right? So one guitar is doing this the whole time. One guitar hits the G, there's another one over the A, the B, and then it ends with your big chord. So that's one entire verse and chorus structure. Okay, on the second verse, so it's almost identical to the first verse. Let me call out the things that are a little different. So technically on the very first verse, the first chord that you hit is just straight across. Now you hit that E open first. Right? So there might be a little bit different embellishment, but if there's just difference to the picking, it's still on that same chord. So that's all the same. The little scoops are a little different now. Now, instead of going up to your 7th fret, you're going to stick down here. It's the 5th, 5th, 2nd, open, 2nd. Like that. Okay, this part's different where the chord stabs are. So on the first one, I think we did. Right? This time, we're mashing them all together. So it's going to be the big chord, and then we're going to do fast, I'm going to say triplets, when we're hitting those chords. Same chords, we're just hitting them in a different pattern. So it's. Right? So that's a little different. And then the difference is it does a slightly different B minor pentatonic climb out of that one. So that one goes like this. All right, so one more time. Okay, so all the notes are still in the B minor pentatonic scale. The only one that you're not sort of playing, you're skipping, is when you think of the B minor pentatonic. So the first one that we did, it hit all of those. This one skips that note. It doesn't ever hit. You never hit that one on the second one. And then you just play a B minor triad there. Right? And skip over it. And that's how it closes that one. See if I can do it fast. Woo! Did it. So then it goes into your pre-chorus again, which is exactly the same. Runs around that twice, and everything's the same throughout the chorus. The only thing that's different is coming out of that chorus, when you do your big chord, it does that little thing. So I'm very close to that, but you're sliding up there, and that's where it goes to the little drum breakdown and that distortion tone, which is a good time to talk about that overdrive distortion tone. So let's jump into that for a second. Okay, so this is straight up like if you're playing this in a band and some other guitar is playing the overdrive parts of the song, awesome. So the one that he or she is gonna love to jump on is this one, right? Right? Which is just those parts of a B chord, and you're just hammering on the A string. Right? So there's that one. The other part of the overdrive guitar that's kind of powerful is during the pre-chorus, when the clean one is doing. Right? So you've got an overdrive guitar that's doing this. So it's just this part of a B chord, think of it. You could also do it this way. And then the second one is that's on your G string, that's the 7th fret, and on your B string, that's the 10th fret. Right? So I just choose to play it in that position because it all sort of is in that B minor, like it's part of a B minor this way, and it's sort of a B minor 7 that way. Right, so one guitar is doing throughout the whole thing. So there's a part where there's a guitar playing the B note down here. I don't know the exact groove, but it's something slightly a little bit different than he's not doing. It's a little bit different, but you can sort of feel your way through it, whatever fits. Will sound fat and awesome. So your 3 overdrive parts again are or, right, or, there you go. Let's go back to the clean part. Okay, so now there's a bridge part to the song, and I don't think you're technically hearing guitar on the record, but I'll show you the chords and what they are, right? So the bridge part is an E minor 7, then an F sharp minor 7, then a G major 7, and then it's back to your F sharp minor 7, or it could be an A, I want to say. Either will work there. Which is the same by the way, which is the same chord configuration as the pre-chorus, right? From B minor, so the bridge is sort of exactly the same, just a fourth from that. So E minor 7, F sharp minor 7, G major 7, back to F sharp minor 7, again, and then a big chord. Here's another part for your overdrive guitar, right? I think you just hit the power chord part. I don't think you hit the minor note, but you can. And then big chord again on the F sharp. Flash for fantasy. Right? And that works because, you know, it's a fourth to the fifth to the root, right? Your classic sort of blues progression, which is a cool. And then the second part goes back to your normal chorus, G, right? Relative major to the E minor, and A, which is the relative major to the F sharp minor, right? So that's why that all sort of ties together and works, right? I think some of the times he hits that fifth fret, you know, 7, whatever that, fifth fret above 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. Yeah. So then that goes around another round of choruses. I think it's a double round of chorus, right? And great part to come out of the chorus and into the outro, to kick off the outro section, right? So you're going to go around in your chorus. Flash for fantasy. One more. And then you come out of it with this interesting piece. Because they're going to transition back. The outro of the song, the play out, is actually back to the sort of verse format, which he starts vamping on the verses again. But that transition back to that is just so cool. So you're just sort of an E suspended and an E triad, then the root and third of a D chord. So on the 5th fret and the 4th fret here. And then climb 2 frets back to your E. And then you resolve on a B minor 7 chord. Just beautiful. And from this point on, it's sort of vamping on the, you know, verse over the verse format, but it's sort of the outro of the song. And I want to show you my favorite little tasty licks that Steve Stevens does when he's improvising during these verse patterns. So you'll see a timestamp on the screen where this thing happens in the song, right? But the first one's going to be like this. So it's during this part. So it's that great sort of tap, and you're sort of wiggling it, right? So it's your B minor pentatonic bend. So you bend that up, and you're going to tap your finger on the 12th fret while it's bent up, and you hold your finger down for a second, and you're going to wiggle down here where your bending finger is, right? It's just ever so slight. So that's favorite lick number 1. The next one is, let's see. Yeah, Yeah, that one. So that one you're sort of sneaking into. It's sort of like a, you know, it's a variation of the, you know, the licks when we're in B minor, right? So that's sort of the typical sort of, when you do that third string, first string stuff. But this is sort of coming at it a little differently. I think it's playing I think it's a Dorian scale version of that kind of. But so you're sneaking in, starting on 6 and sliding up to 7 on G. And you sort of bend that last one up a little bit. So evil sounding, right? Okay, my next favorite one is a variation of that one. Sounds something like this. Right, so it's during that part where, you know, where you'd normally be doing, right? Instead, he does a sort of bluesy, one of those. And then he starts on that crazy scale again. He does the first two parts of it. And then he slides all the way up to 12. And he does that little A major triad. And then he ends it with a B note on 12, and then back to that E on 9. Right? Just super cool. And then the very last thing that you hear him do during the trail out of the song is a big, big stretch. But if you can make that stretch work, it's super easy. So all you're doing is doing, what is that? I guess that's a double stop on 7th fret on your E and B string. So all this is just E and the B string. So you're just hammering on to 10, and then up again all the way to 12. So that's your stretch is from index finger at 7, pinky up to 12. You got to do this. That's how he does it. I suppose you could probably do I don't think you get quite the same sound. And you play it at that sort of tempo, and the rhythm of the song sort of comes around to it. There you go. There's your stretch for the day. All right. Alrighty, well that is Flesh for Fantasy. Did you learn something today? I know I did putting this together. This is fantastic. If you haven't done so already, please jump down and click subscribe, ring the bell, let you know every time I drop new content, which I do every week. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and if there's another song you want to see me do a similar lesson to. Okay, until next week, take care everybody.